The good book posits that the end of a matter is better than its beginning. And on day number 80 of the Splits in 90 Days challenge, I want to reflect on patience and how it is better than pride. This challenge has certainly been a test of patience and taming of my ego. Metaphysically, it's kind of reflective of my present life situation, which is screaming transition, transition, transition. In 10 days, we are calling it a wrap. But for today, day number 80 of 90 is fire. Namaste, yogis. It's Goga, kinda like yoga. 2 years in the game, 78 posters later, it is clear hip openers are the big boys or girls in yoga. From sitting ones, lunges, squats, goddesses, hamstring stretchers, including the inversions. With this foundation, I'm convinced that we are ready to take a 90-day journey towards the mother of them all. They call it Hanumasana, monkey, or as most of you know it, the splits. Enjoy the ride. Let's begin in Tadasana. Now with an inhale, sweep your hands up, palms touch, gaze toward your thumbs. Maybe find a back bend here, and then exhale, dive forward, bringing your palms down on the ground. Halfway lift, create a flat back or spine, hands down, walk or step back and come into plank. Bend your elbows into chaturanga. Upward facing dog, open the chest, and then downward facing dog, exhale, exhale. So we stay here for 5 deep breaths, inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the nose. Trying to bring the chest towards the thighs. Now bend your knees, walk or step to your hands, coming into halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, bow forward, grab the curls here. Now inhale, sweep your hands up overhead, and then bring your hands to your heart center. So you can do 3 to 5 rounds of this, inhaling, opening the chest, exhaling, bowing forward. Coming into halfway lift, have a flat back here, hands down on the ground, walk or step back. Bend your elbows into chaturanga, upward facing dog, and downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. So sun salutation A, breathing in and out. This is an ode to Ashtanga Yoga. Keep melting the chest towards the thighs as you take in your breaths in and out. Bend your knees, walk or step to your hands, coming into halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, dive forward. Now circle sweep your hands up, maybe find a back bend here, and then hands to your heart center. Round number 3, inhale, circle sweep your arms up, find a back bend. Exhale, bow forward. Halfway lift, create a flat spine, hands down on the ground, come into chaturanga. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, exhale, exhale, trying to create that nice inverted V with your body. Keep drawing the heels towards the earth as you melt the chest even more towards the thighs. Breathing in and breathing out, pushing the floor away from you. And then bend your knees, crawl to your hands, coming into halfway lift, flat back. And then exhale, bow forward. Now circle sweep your hands up once again, bringing your palms to touch. Maybe find a back bend once again, and then bring your hands to your heart center. So let's take one final round. Sweep your hands up, exhale, bow forward. Halfway lift, flat back, looking forward. Step back and come into chaturanga. Elbows bent, upward facing dog. With an exhale, take down facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Melting the chest towards the thighs once again. Breathing in and breathing out. Try to ensure that you're feeling this stretch on your downward facing dog. Bend your knees, walk or step forward, coming into halfway lift, flat back. Exhale, bow forward, pressing your palms down. Sweep your hands up once again overhead. Maybe find a back bend again, and then hands to your heart center. Now look down, keep your feet together, squeeze your knees together and come into chair pose. Then sweep your hands up overhead, bring your palms to touch. Then you want to tuck your tailbone slightly in as you sink your hips even lower. Keep gazing towards your thumbs for 5 breaths. Exhale. As you sink even a little bit lower, and then bow forward, pressing those palms down on the ground. Take halfway lift once again, and then from here, step back and take chaturanga. Elbows bent, upward facing dog, lift your chest up, drop your head back, and downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale. Now bring your right leg between your hands, sweep your hands up, come into warrior 1. So taking those hands, dropping your head back, gazing towards your thumbs as you sink into the front knee, and stay here for 5 deep breaths, feeling that nice stretch on your entire thighs, groin, as you keep dropping your head back even more. You can even separate your palms and let them mirror each other, and then release. Come into chaturanga. This is the transition of the vinyasa. Up dog, lift your chest up, and then downward facing dog. Exhale. Let's do the same thing. Left leg between your hands, coming into warrior 1. So you sweep your hands, palms touched, and then you can drop your head back as you gaze towards your thumbs. Keep sinking into the front knee once again, just to be able to get that deep stretch, inhaling and exhaling. So you can keep sinking, otherwise if this is too much, you can always separate your palms and let them mirror each other. Then bring your hands down, taking chaturanga, upward facing dog, lift up, and downward facing dog, empty it all out. 5 breaths here, inhaling and exhaling. Fill up, empty, melting the chest more towards the thighs. 1 more deep breath in, let it go. Bend your knees, walk, step or jump to your hands, coming into halfway lift, flat back, creating a flat spine. Exhale, fold forward. Now from here, bend your knees, come into chair pose once again, lifting those hands up, gazing towards your thumbs. Exhale, dive forward. Let's go to round number 2, halfway lift, inhale. Chaturanga jump, upward facing dog, lift your chest up, and downward facing dog. Exhale. Warrior number 1 on the right leg, bring your right leg between your hands, palms touch, look up. Exhale, hands down on the ground, chaturanga. Elbows bent, upward facing dog, lift the chest, and then exhale, downward facing dog. Left leg comes between your hands, come into warrior number 1, palms touch, or separate your palms, gaze up, and then hands down on the ground. Find the bent elbows, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Relax here for a breath, bend your knees, fly to your hands, come into halfway, exhale, dive in. Chair pose, Utkatasana, lift up, tuck your tailbone in, Uttanasana, fold forward. Halfway lift, Chaturanga Dandasana, bringing your elbows down, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Virabhadrasana A, come up, palms touch, lift up, gaze towards your thumbs, and then open into Vira 2, warrior number 2. Reverse the warrior, take your left hand back, right hand up, and then windmill your hands down onto the ground, Chaturanga. Upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Exhale. Bring your left leg between your hands, coming into Vira 1 on the left side, palms touch, and then maybe find Vira number 2, warrior number 2. Find peaceful warrior or the reversed warrior, left hand up, right hand back, windmill those hands now to the ground. Take chaturanga, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. So stay here for a couple of breaths, breathing in and out, finding length in the spine. Inhale and exhale. Take 3 to 5 breaths here. Bend your knees, float forward, coming into halfway lift, flat back, open the chest. Exhale, bow forward. Chair pose, Utkatasana. Sweep your hands up as you sink your hips down. Bring your hands to your heart center. Let's take revolve chair. Right elbow comes to the left knee, and then keep pressing the palms and use that strength of the palms to push and twist your upper body towards the back. Inhaling and exhaling here, and stay here for 5 deep breaths, trying to keep a straight line between both elbows as you sink the hips a little bit lower, and then gently release your hands down onto the ground into a forward fold. take halfway lift flat back, hands down on the ground, step back and come into chaturanga. Elbows bent up dog and then downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale. Right leg comes between your hands into warrior number 1, palms touch, and then open into warrior number 2. And then stay here for a bit. Take peaceful warrior, the reversed warrior, taking your right hand up, and then see whether you can bring your right hand down, left hand goes up. So you can either choose to stay here because this is the extended side angle, otherwise take a bind and take the bound side angle. So you want to interlace your fingers and then so that you can come to the top of the mat so that you can lift up in bird of paradise. So you keep growing tall. You can keep your knees bent, otherwise so that you can kick that leg and straighten it completely, rising like a bird. This is one of the most beautiful postures in yoga practice. It's very artistic in a way, and then gently lower down to the ground and take your left leg back, staying on the bound angle, and then find chaturanga. Upward facing dog, lift the chest up, downward facing dog, exhale, exhale, exhale. Now left side, bring your left leg between your hands, take your hands up above the ears, palms touch maybe, open into warrior number 2, keeping a straight line. Find reverse warrior, taking your right hand across your back and take extended side angle on this other side. You can bend the left elbow so that you can interlace your fingers. Grab your wrists and then close the distance in and so that you can rise up nicely, lifting up into bird of paradise. And then stay here, keep lengthening the chest as you grow tall, pressing the ground away from you as you kick the left leg back even more, and then gently lower down and so that you can find your bind. You take your right leg back, stay with your bind, otherwise take chaturanga. Elbows bent, upward facing dog, lift up, and then downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Catch your breath here, bend your knees, float forward. Coming into halfway lift, exhale, bow forward. Chair pose once again, and then bring your hands to your heart center. Let's take revolve chair on the other side. So left elbow, right knee, keep pressing the palms down and find a twist. Inhaling and exhaling as you open the chest more towards the back, and then keep sinking your hips even lower, just be able to feel that deep stretch. Inhaling and exhaling, and then gently release your palms down on the ground. Come into halfway lift, flat back, press your hands down, walk a step back, take chaturanga, bent elbows, upward facing dog and downward facing dog. Exhale, exhale, exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Fill up, empty. Then sweep your right leg up to the sky, bend the knee and come into down dog, scorpion or three-legged dog. So keep opening the right leg towards the left side. Choose to stay here, otherwise so that you can bring your right leg between your hands and come into a lunge. Now open your chest into cow, exhale round your back into cat. This helps straighten the hamstrings. So you keep doing this, opening the chest into cow, exhaling into cat, rounding your back. Puff up your chest, open up the chest into cow pose, and then exhale, you come into cat. So you're trying to round your back completely, getting this nice stretch of the hamstrings. Stay here for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can even walk your palms towards the back, just be able to get a bit deeper stretch on that hamstring. And stay here, bowing forward even a little bit more. The back foot is on toes here. And then rebend the knee so that you can bring your hands and take cow once again, and then walk back into downward facing dog. Great job. Sweep the left leg up, open into three-legged dog. You can open that leg towards the other side, and then when you're ready, so that you can bring that leg between your hands. Now let's do the cat and cow stretches. So inhale into cow, open the chest, look up, exhale, straighten the knee into cow, cat pose rather. So you have to round your back. Inhale, open the chest, exhale, round your back like an angry cat. These are very good stretch, just to bring in a gentle stretch of the hamstrings here. Keep rounding your back. Maybe take one more of the cow pose. Stretch the leg, and so that you can start walking your hands. And let's just drop your head towards the left knee. Back foot is on toes, strong. Feel that nice deep stretch on the entire left hamstring as you breathe in and out. This is the posture. Very good stretch for the hamstrings to be able to get you going. And then rebend the knee once again, and then so that you can step forward into a forward fold. Now take your feet out slightly apart, and then so that you can come into a malasana squat, or the squat of a yogi. So you're using the elbows to push the knees outwards, and then try to lengthen the chest as you lift your chest up even more, breathing in and out. So make sure you're not slouching or dropping your head down. So you want to open the chest as you find this deep stretch. Inhaling and exhaling with intention, breathing in and out, and then so that you can release your hands down on the ground. Then find a wall and go sit against a wall sit. This is very good just to fire up the quads and the thighs. So I'm pressing my back against the wall. We're staying here for about 30 seconds to about 1 minute, feeling that nice burn on the thighs. So try to keep your chest straight. You're pressing your back against the wall as you keep these knees at 90 degrees, and stay here breathing in and out. Intention, breath, feeling that burn, and then gently release. You can shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. Good. And then from here, just take it easy. See whether you can shift your weight towards the standing foot on the left side. Grab your right ankle and then kick and come into dancer's pose. It's a very good test of balance here on day number 80. You can adopt a mudra of your choice on the left hand, and then you can press an imaginary wall if it's too much as you kick against your right hand with your ankle. Find your balance here, and then stay for 5 deep breaths. Dancer's pose. Then bend the standing foot, gently release. Let's switch sides. So you grab your left ankle, kick against that hand, and then stretch your right hand forward, feeling that nice deep stretch, especially on the quads as you kick. Keep reaching even more as you find that deep stretch. It's a test of balance, also a very beautiful test of balance here. Anchoring your focus on one point that is not moving, and then when you're ready, slowly release the posture. And then again, so that you can take your feet out wide. So we're coming into goddess pose, and then stretch your hands forward and start giving me a few bounces here. You can give like 10, and then so that you can lift your heels off the ground and find goddess here. And then so that you can cross your elbows and then bring your hands down on the ground while still lifting the heels off the ground, coming into the spider pose. This is one very beautiful posture as well, and a nice variation of goddess. Feeling that burn, especially on the thighs and the legs, as you keep lifting the heels even higher, and stay here for 5 breaths. And then when you're ready, so that you can release and come back into full goddess pose, where you open your hands out in cactus arms or like goalpost arms, and then when you're ready, release. Then find your way back into downward facing dog. So stay on downward facing dog, and then from here, see whether you can bring your left leg outside your left palm, and stay here coming into lizard pose. So you can either choose to stay with your palms pressing down here, or they said you can bend your elbows and bring your forearms down, coming into Uttan Pristasana. And then you can drop your right knee down and stay on lizard, sending breaths to your left hip joint. You'll feel this stretch on the back quad as you feel that stretch on your groin. These are some of the best stretches you can actually do when you're working towards the split, which you're going to explore shortly just now. So stay here on your lizard pose maybe for about a minute or so, which is about 8 breaths. Inhaling, exhaling, and then slowly press your palms down, and so that you can come into half split. So you take the left leg forward, keeping the right knee down on the ground. So stay on half split here, flexing your left foot towards your face, and then when you're ready, so that you can start taking the right leg back towards the back. So you're extending the split, coming into a full split, the split pose on the left side. So it will be a bit straining. This is my bad side for the split, but you can stay here, but so that you can keep your body upright above your hips. That is the work now. And then you want to move in very slowly, because I just keep extending my leg towards the back and the split finds itself happening. And then I keep using the strength of my upper body to push the hips even lower. You can kiss your knee slightly as you keep sliding towards the back. And then slowly release, take downward facing dog. You can bend one knee at a time just to shake it out. And then bring your right leg outside your right palm, pressing the palms down on the ground. And then from here, see whether you can take lizard on this other side. So you can either choose to keep pressing your palms down, otherwise you can bring your forearms down or elbows down on the ground, and then drop your left knee down on the ground. And then stay with your forearms down on the ground as you feel this stretch that is lizard pose. So we hold the lizard for about a minute. Once again, sending breath to our right hip sockets, feeling that nice stretch on the groin area. Inhale, exhale. And then when you're ready, release and come into half split or half Hanuman. So you're flexing your right foot, pointing it towards your body, and then keep pressing the palms down on the ground. And then when you're ready, start sliding your left knee towards the back. So you're just wiggling it very slowly just to make the split happen. And there we go. And as I do that, I'm walking my hands to keep my upper body upright. And voila, there is a split on the right side. A much better look as compared to the left. 10 days to the end of the challenge. You can always use blocks to support yourself, and then you want to internally bring your hips down on the ground. So you just keep sliding back until you feel you can get comfortable, and then gently release, and then come into downward facing dog, bending one knee at a time. Shake it out, shake it out, shake it out, and then gently drop your knees down and find your way into sitting or the hero's posture, keeping your upper body straight. Stay here for a moment, taking a few deep breaths. Exhale. Breathing in and breathing out. Hands to your heart center. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining day number 80. That was a beautiful practice. So as we navigate towards the end of this challenge, I just want to say thank you so much for everybody who has been holding my hand through this process. It's not been easy, but here we are. I will see you on day number 91, which will be now the home run indeed. Bye guys, and have a lovely weekend ahead of you. And thank you so much for watching. Namaste.